Welcome back, everybody. Hey, it's Thursday, and it's warm out here. Yes, very warm. Very warm. Indeed it is. You'd think it's October. I think it's October. I look at the calendar. It says October. But you never know it because the weather has been kind of up and down, down and up. So, yes, but it's kind of what we deal with on a regular basis out in a desert. That's right. This part of LA County was originally desert, and because of Mulholland and what he did, well, you should look it up. It's interesting history. But anyways, it touches upon that history in the movie Chinatown with Jack Nicholson, which is a great film. I highly recommend it for those who may not have seen it. But I think most of my subscribers are familiar with that movie. It came out in the late 70s. Was it the late 60s? I forget. Anyways, great film. But what we're doing out here today is going to be sharing a few little things. We don't have any new things to share. No, you've seen everything. You've seen it. You've absolutely seen everything. That's right. So, with that being said, I have a project. Not going to be completing it today, but I have a little bit of a history with this project that I'm sure maybe you will be interested to know. So I did mention this on the tubular group. I put out a petition to maybe understand maybe what I'm doing wrong. Of course, I got some comments that were in favor of another method, which is, I anticipated this. But as you can see, I have the Dietz crystal out here. Yes, it's a beautiful lantern. Beautiful lantern, but you see something that's missing? It's supposed to have one of these. Should be right there. See? This is an original part. I got this from the Antique Lantern, from Joe. And he fortunately had the right one. This is the right period. See, here, I'll hold it up there so you can see it. And on the other side, it has solder. Nice bright solder. But I've tried JB Weld. Now, I have fresh, brand new JB Weld. And I've used it with very good success. I mean, really good success. I fixed that lantern for my friend last week, and it came out fine. It burned. I fixed it. It was a basket case. I should post photos. I should share the photos of what I was dealing with. I didn't take a video of it because, well, I was lazy. I'll admit it. I didn't feel like doing it. I was going through a lot of stuff that week. So with that being said, I felt that I should just get it done. But anyway, I have this part, and I've had it since I've had this lantern. Yeah. I've had this lantern since, 2022? Maybe early 22? Yeah, early 22, because I did have this lantern for my camp out in 2022, which was April of 2022. And that was the last camp that I did. And I'm ashamed of it, but earlier this year was not going to happen because the mountains were still jam-packed with snow, and now the weather up there is probably nice. I should go. I would still like to try and do a camp out before the holiday season really gets going. Anyway, might not happen. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, or short story longer, which sometimes is the case, I've had this. I ordered it with the Globe Guard, and I've been waiting to get around to putting it together because I've been burning it. Yeah, I have a red globe in here. I just put it as a placeholder because the marked clear globe is in the house. I just removed it because I'm like, well, I don't need to take it out to the garage because I'm going to be putting this on. But I wanted to make sure the globe plate sat where it was supposed to. So I just grabbed this just for, accuracy, I guess you could say. Anyhow, I tried JB Weld. I cleaned both sides. The surface it was going to be placed right here, and this side here. I cleaned it with acetone, got all the dirt off, and I mixed the epoxy up, right? Got it all down there, dialed in there, put some on both sides, and then I held it, and I used my vice grips and just clamped it on there so it's snug, not too tight, because I don't want teeth marks on my air tube, right? So I did that, let it sit overnight. Came out the next day, the next day. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's on there. And I tried to crank it, try to go like this. And it is like, oh, okay. So it popped off. Okay, so I made more epoxy and I reapplied. I did the same thing. Now, and I checked it out and it was very much on there. But this little lever did not want to go past this little bump in the guard wire, see? So it's supposed to, kind of slide by. It's supposed to keep it in place. Let's see here. So it's supposed to be, it's supposed to keep it in place. Gosh. Anyways, why does this thing not want to hinge? I mean, oh, because it's not in there. So it doesn't want to. Geez, I'm falling apart. I'm falling to pieces here. Anyway, so it was in there, but it didn't want to. It didn't want to go past it. It's supposed to be past it. Where's my Victor? There it is. Hold on a second. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, case in point, this is the same design. See? So you push it forward and it comes out. That's how it works. Now, in all intents and purposes, that little bump there works great. But if the guard wire is not soldered in properly, it's a little loose, but it's there, but it should just kind of move around it. But just that was enough pressure to pop it off a second time. Yeah, I know. You're probably all saying, well, Rob, just solder it on there, man. Do what the old timers did. Just solder it on there. Now, we had this discussion in the last video. We've had this discussion. And as much as I appreciate the solder aspect and angle, what I don't want to see is a bunch of fresh solder. I want to leave the old solder there so when it's on there, it looks like it's still on there, original-like, that it's not, I don't know, not fresh solder. I want to look old and blend in and everything. But this little part doesn't seem to be, on the air tube as well as it should be. Or it's not as flush. So I need to maybe do some adjustments with my pliers and maybe accommodate this thing. It shouldn't be like that at all. It should be very flush with it. There's not much solder on there to begin with, but that's what I'm faced with. So I'm going to possibly try one more time, and I will try to get this completely cleaned. Get it completely clean, because I did use some WD-40 to get some of the rust off of this portion. And since the patina was the same as this, I imagine that this thing broke off a long time ago. So it was, it rusted up and aged at the same time, the same rate as the lantern did. So, so I tried to clean it off, get down to bare metal, and then attach this, but it failed twice. So I might do one more time, 3 times the charm. Yeah, so we'll see. But that's what's going on with the crystal. Yes, that's what's going on with the crystal. Anyways, it's still a great lantern. Still burns fine, but I'm leaving it out here until it's done, because this has been on my bench for far too long. That's right. Now I have something else I want to share, and I have to go grab it. So, give me 1 second. 1, 2, 3. Ding! There we go. So this, you've probably seen. I think I've shared it. It's a DWP lantern, utility piece, high-low, Nothing crazy or unique, but look at the glass. Look at the globe on this thing. Holy crap. Isn't it crazy? Crazy. So what happened? A little back history. Yeah. Anyway, so what happened to that globe? What happened to that globe, Rob? What exactly did you do to it? What did that globe ever do to you? Well, I guess I just added fire to it. So when I bought this lantern, this came out of Laverne. Laverne. It was only in Laverne, St. Demas area, okay? Not very far from here, 10, 12, 15 miles tops. Anyways, got off eBay, won it for the opening bid price. It was under $20, if I remember correctly. It was very cheap. But this thing, this thing is in great condition, and it's not beat, not anything. I think it was never really used a whole lot. I mean, you could tell it was used, but it wasn't abused, that's for sure. It had some surface rust, and I just did my WD thing and left a lot of the patina on there, and it's a beautiful piece. But it did come with a globe. It was a DW&P marked globe. Now you're like, well, where is that one? No, it's not that. It was actually a number 20 Embury manufactured globe that had DW&P embossed on it. It wasn't that strong, but I felt I wanted to burn this lantern, and I didn't want to burn the globe. So, because I know marked globes are always much more valuable, and since it was an Embury marked globe, not a Dietz. Now, if it said Dietz and it had the embossing on it, it would still be in this frame. Absolutely. If I decided to sell any of it, I would keep them together. But actually, I was selling the lantern with the globe, and remember John Morris he said, I'll buy it, because I wasn't asking a whole lot. But I asked him, and I started thinking, like, well, do I really want to get rid of this high-low? It's a really nice high-low. So he bought just the globe, and for a few dollars less, because the frame, he already has several of these exact lanterns. So I thought, well, he probably just wants the globe. I'll just offer him the globe. So I did. But anyways, that's fine. I'm glad I kept the frame, because it's a good frame, and the globe was a replacement at one point in time. So it wasn't the proper Dietz marked globe for this, because it was a number 20, which is Embury. But anyway, I had that thing, and it was perfect. It was a brand new old stock style globe, gorgeous condition. And it came in my Paul's number 0, which you've seen, it's up back there. Anyways, my Paul's number 0 was painted silver. You might remember, if you go back several videos, you'll see it. So it was, had the wrong globe. It has the right globe now, but it came with this thing. And this thing used to be pretty. Yeah, it was a perfectly nice globe. Perfectly nice globe. And it's funny how these things will get like this. And I think we've talked about this at some points. And this is what they call sick glass, or glass cancer. A lot of us call it just glass cancer. And, a lot of you are probably crying. You're probably like shaking your head. You're probably saying, well, gee whiz, this Rayo Rob guy, why would he burn a ruby red globe? Well, this was free. This came in a frame, improper globe for the frame. But I thought, well, you know what? These are very common. Those are common. Now, had it been an amber or a teal or a cobalt blue, of course I wouldn't have burned it. No, I wouldn't have. I might have lit it, just for a photo or two, but then would have put it out, because it takes several minutes for this to happen. And I'll tell you, this one did not waste any time. It got started pretty quick, and it was insane how fast this thing took off. It was within 5 or 6 minutes of burning it. And I had it on the bench. I was sitting out here working on something, and I had this thing lit, and I was like, oh, that looks nice. Okay, cool. And then all of a sudden I started seeing it just, and you can actually see it happen. You can even hear it sometimes. If it's quiet enough, you can hear the glass doing this. It's really weird. And so I'm like, oh geez. Oh, geez. And so I'm like, you know what? I have others like this in my cabinet down here that are in the same condition. Same condition. Exactly the same. And this one was not too dark of a ruby. It's kind of transparent. Some people don't like the real dark ruby ones. I do. I love them. This one's not a real dark ruby. And I find the lighter red ones seem to do this a lot faster. The darker ones seem to kind of play by the rules, more or less. But anyways, this thing, I've already kind of sanded the top of it to smooth it out a bit, and I just keep burning it because, well, once this happens, there's really no going back. I mean, there's bottle washers, or not bottle washers, bottle polishers, professional glass guys that can turn back the time on this globe. They could get rid of the glass cancer. Professional polishing job will take care of all this. It will look right, and essentially will spare the globe from being thrown in the trash. But since this is a very common globe, and it's so funny, you can see areas where the glass cancer didn't happen and why it's so selective of where it does it and doesn't. I think this is probably the most cancer I've ever experienced on one globe. Yeah. Others, it just kind of is around the top of the chimney. It kind of frosts up and flakes up right around the top. But this thing went pretty much the entire... It's a globetrotter. The globe all over the globe. It went all over the globe. Sorry, you know who you're dealing with. Anyways, so there we go. That is what we have. And it's funny because I thought, well, maybe the earlier ones don't do this as much. I'm not prone to this as much. Because I'm trying to figure out what era of FITZALL are more prone to this. Now, in my personal experience, the post-war examples from the late 40s do this within minutes. I mean, it's really, really kind of fast how cheap these globes have become over the years when they were being made. But this one has the first patent date of March 10th of 1914. So I thought, well, this is an early one. It's got the early patent on it, the larger logo. It's a pretty nice globe. Well, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it's fine. But no, it went completely full cancer. It just went crazy. Went crazy. So I'm like, oh, well, I didn't pay anything for it. It came in another lantern, and it was a spare. And I have others, like I said, that are in immaculate condition that I only use for display or as a replacement. And I don't really burn these FITZALL Ruby globes. The ones that I do mostly burn are flashed, No.0 tubular style flashed ones that have color applied. Because those ones I've had no problems with because of the applied color to a clear globe is usually more or less safe to burn. But that thing, like I said, don't feel pity for it. Don't feel sorry for it. You know why? Because it's common. It's common. I know that one day that might change. That might change, Rob. Don't say that. But you know, one day you might not be able to find those. I have another ruby globe. It's not marked by Dietz, but I have burned this one and it burns fine. But you know that can change. I have, ooh yeah, I have that globe too. Well, I got globes. Yes, I do. I certainly have got globes. What's in this one here? Ooh, glad I found this. Have to be careful with this one. I gotta be careful with this one because this is sacred, and I'll show you why. That's special. Yeah. Early generation Blizzard globe, 1899 to about 1905 or so. Yeah, these are not very easy to find. And I have it in this linen sock thing. But anyways, I do have a clear FITZALL globe that I'm going to put into the high-low. And I have my City of LA high-low that hangs near the entrance to the time cave, it has a ruby FITZALL globe. Now the place is not haunted, don't worry. It's just the acetone can I have up on my shelf, and it expands with the temperature changes in the time cave here. But anyways, this is a nice clear FITZALL. It's about the same period as the lantern, 1940s. And this one has a manufacture date that I can't make out, but I would imagine it's right there on the cusp of mid to late 30s, early 40s. That's when a lot of these department stamped lanterns were manufactured, right around the late 30s through the 40s. DW&P fountain stamp would definitely indicate probably cusp of 39, 40, right around there, 41 maybe, because a lot of them were early on were stamped up here on the smoke belt. Yeah, so they would have their utility or city embossed on top of the smoke belt, such as my Los Angeles County square tank high-low, which is embossed on top of the bell there. But I have a City of Pasadena. I have two. I have a City of Pasadena and Pasadena Water Department, and they're stamped on the smoke belt, and they are from the 30s. And then I have the other City of Los Angeles high-low that's stamped on the fountain, which is stamped S1240. So yeah, December of 1940. Now, if it was December of 41, I definitely would have kept it because that's in correlation with Pearl Harbor Day. But anyway, so yeah, I think I'll just rock and roll with the clear globe in this old DW&P. They don't necessarily have to have a ruby globe. A lot of them were used with ruby globes, but sometimes they needed a clear globe, so you could have them on a job site and have a clear globe. That's right. That is right. So you don't have to have colored glass in these utility lanterns, even though the majority of them were with a red ruby globe. But anyways, yeah. But it's cool. It's a neat old high-low, and I like it. I've sold several of my high-lows. I don't really have a high-low that's unmarked. All of the other ones are affiliated with a water department or a utility or the city of Los Angeles or Pasadena. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Rob, wouldn't it be great to find one from Monrovia? Well, duh. Yeah, of course it would be. I don't think Monrovia was that big of a deal that they would order stamped lanterns with the city of Monrovia on it. A lot of the county works used LA County marked lanterns. So I would imagine that the LA County one that I have could have been used locally in Monrovia. So that would probably be the most closest to a Monrovia lantern as I could possibly find, unless any department like a water department, because Monrovia does have its own water department. It's not based off of Los Angeles. Or, we're SoCal Edison. The different utilities here in town that existed at that time may have had something marked. It's debatable, not for certain. But if I found one that was marked for the city of Monrovia, of course I'd be all about it. I'd sell as many of my Pasadena ones to get a Monrovia one if it was out of my budget. But anyways, that opportunity has not presented itself yet. No, it hasn't. Well, friends, I am running late, running on here, and we're hitting 25 minutes almost. But airplane, right on time. I did want to touch upon a few things. I have a lantern coming. I know. Don't all gasp and clutch your pearls at the same time. Big shot. No, it's a special piece, and I have a fun story about that I'll share with you guys in the next video. But until then, when that comes, then I will share it. Might even make a special edition over the weekend, but we shall see. I do have a lot of plans this weekend, and it might not happen. But for sure, a week from today, which will be next Thursday. So, oh, by the way, I've had some questions in the comment section in some of my previous videos this month. Halloween. Are you going to do any Halloween content? Are you going to do any fun, spooky stories like you've done in the past? Well, yes, I'm planning to do Halloween content. Since Halloween is on Tuesday. It's on Tuesday this year, so that would be meaning I would be free. I'm not working that day. So I would be making preparations for trick-or-treaters and all of that. And all the Halloween parties that I've been invited to are on the Saturday before, so I have no plans for the actual day of Halloween. So that means I will make content either Sunday night, I do work Monday, or I'll do it on Tuesday morning, but I think it would be better to do a nighttime video. I mean, even if I'm in the time cave with the door closed, it still wouldn't be night. It'd be hot and uncomfortable. So I definitely want to do one in the evening. But I'm rambling. But yeah, I will be thinking about some experiences to share, maybe some ghost stories and stuff like that. In fact, if you guys want, I will leave my Gmail in the description. Okay. What I'm thinking of doing, now you can hear me out on this, for those who want to participate, for those who want to be part of this channel, for this year, for this Halloween, I will leave my email address in the description field, and you can email me. How's that? Is that crazy? I mean, that's just leaving myself open for scammers, right? We're not that popular. Anyways, check it out. I'll leave the email link, my Gmail, that's connected to this channel. And you can send me, if you have a paranormal story you want to share, I will share it on my channel. I will read it. So your story will be here on my channel, and you can email it to me, and I will print it out, and I will read the story live on Halloween. So if you have like a ghost story that you really feel that people should hear or would want to hear, cool. If your house creaks late at night and you don't know what causes it, I don't want to hear it. Because mine does the same thing too. Nobody wants to hear that. They're like, oh, that's just the house settling. It's very explainable. But anyways, if you've seen something that you can't explain, or something's moved across the room, or just even a little bit on a table or whatever, something that's paranormal, please, I will be very open to reading your story on the channel. So I will leave that email link in the description field. So if you don't see it, just hit show more. Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. Just hit show more and you'll see the rest of it. And let me know. Send me a link. I'll send me a message. I'm starting to sound like Porky Pig here. Send me an email with the story and I'll read over it. And if I deem it Rail Rob quality, then I will share it on the channel. And of course, I will let you know if it's been selected. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So we will be out here Halloween. I will make it prior to Halloween, hopefully. But anyways, we'll have content available on Halloween evening. So I will set it to air Halloween night. So be ready to watch it. And we'll go from there. Okay. But yeah, we have one more Thursday before Halloween happens. So stay tuned for our next video a week from today. And we'll have some more fun lantern stuff to share. Okay? Sounds great. Take care, guys, and we'll see you again in a week's time. Bye-bye.